Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we are playing a hasty aggro GRUUL deck I found over at the Aether Hub. Can you hold on to this thing enough to actually win a game, or is this Ferrari more than you can handle? Stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, recently inducted into the world-class order of the Illuminati, Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you.
Filmed for a live studio audience.
Thank you so much, Yukon Socket. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on the Aether Hub, posted by the MTGA Assistant Meta. I'm not really exactly sure if that's a human or something else, but I'll pretend it's something else because I like to believe this world is operated by bots more than people. So this thing named it GRUUL, so you can tell it very inventive on names there. GRUUL. I called it Hasty GRUUL. Hasty GRUUL. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over these cards super quick. Then we're going to take it out and see if we can crush some hopes and dreams. All right, what do we got? We've got draws a card when it comes into play. You can sacrifice it to give yourself a 2/2 Samurai. Pumps a dude by 2, also does -2, so you can use it both offensively and defensively, depending if you got dudes with greater than 2 for defense. Kumano does a point of damage, puts out a ++ on something else that you have on that next turn, and then puts out a hasty 2/2 after that. This guy is a grower who gets bigger the more you play non-creature spells. This guy you can pop out every turn. It comes back to your hand at the end of the turn. +2/+0 and trample when the creature goes to the graveyard. When this card goes to the graveyard, you draw a card. This will mill 2, and you pull one of those into your hand. You gain 2 life. Nice. Bloodthirsty Adversary is a 2/2 with haste, and if you could put an additional 3 out, you could pull something back from your graveyard. Something that is instant or sorcery of mana 3 or less. Okay. Lightning Strike for 3 to face. Tear Asunder will tear asunder artifacts and enchantments. There's only one source of black mana, and that's that single Mirrex right there, and it's only for one turn. The turn comes into play. So you only got one shot to use this to take out a non-land permanent. So don't count on it. Squee comes out as a 2/2 with haste, and he'll put out a goblin each time he attacks. You can play him from the graveyard if you are capable of exiling 4 other cards from your graveyard. Urabrask Forge will put out a forgeling every turn that gets bigger by 1 every single turn. It's got trample. Nahiri's Warcrafting does 5 points of damage to target creature, planeswalker, or battle. And then you can look at the top X of your library, which is the X amount of damage dealt. And then you can play those this turn. This guy is First Strike, Vigilant, and Haste. He's a 2/3. And whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to the player, if it enters the battlefield this turn, draw a card. So you're looking for Hasty, guys, for Samut, the Vizier of Naktamun, to be able to use his ability at all. Other than that, we've got a nice collection of lands. What do we got? We have the ability to draw some cards from this. Some come in fast and then get slow. Some come in slow and then get fast. And some put out mites, that kind of crap. All right, so what are we going to do? We are going to put out guys hard and fast, pump things up as we can, and pull things back from the graveyard and just kill. Just if we make it to mid-game, we're going to lose. So we just got to be as aggressive and as hard as possible. My ideal deck. All right, so before we go do that, let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Dear Black King Toxrill, who lives in the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as I attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentation of the women. Up and against Curufinwe. Curufinwe. 2 mana. Yeah, let's keep it. Get all of our value. And he shoots. We have the Urabrask Forge online. Start attacking. Got a couple of creature kills here, provided he keeps them cheap. Looks like he's playing cheap creatures to me. He's really hoping for the future there. Nice. This is go for the face. Blank right there. In. Down to 8. It almost is like he has no creatures. Down to 4. All right, we got a samurai. And we win. Suck it, mono red. I mean, you didn't have very many creatures, but still, suck it. All right, we were playing against PompousPenguin. Keep. All in. You know how much longer we got to play with this guy? Like forever. All right, let's see. What do I want to do? He can only do 1 point of damage. Let's just go ahead and put out another guy. All in. Just gonna let that happen, huh? What does this guy do? Training. Alright, so here's 3. Those guys are both big, gigantic wusses. All in. Alright, I see somebody needs to be immolated. Immolation! Let's go for this guy. We can. Seed of Hope. Auto pay. Okay, you kill one person. Urabrask Forge. All I gotta do is sneak 2 points of damage around the side of you. And that's how you do it. And we win! Boom, boom! Goes the room. Alright, pit against Timeless. Timel 3. Keep. Nothing to do. So I suspect I'll be able to kill Gallagreeters on the next turn. I could always Warcraft on him if I wanted to. That was a perfectly good trade in my book. Perfectly good. That thing is strong. What happens to this guy? I get to draw a card if he dies. Oh, how fantastic. Alright, it's down to 7. Unfortunately, this is not to target player. How you doing there? These other things were too slow. Dead! And we win! Touchdown! Lava Bears! Alright, we're going against Batch. Something like that. 1, 2, 3. Keep. So I'd like to get out there fast. That's all this deck has. All attack. Gotta put that goblin to sleep. He was being annoying. Alright, let's go for the Swiftspear. And the Ronin. Looks like you're gonna try to be Trixie. I mean, I would have made the other choice. Just back up to 20. Non-creature, non-land, man. All right, 17. We got 3 guys. Let's pass this out. All attack. All right, can we outrace him? That's what we're looking for here. All he needs is a good board wipe, and we're totally screwed. I got a seed of hope that things are going to go better. Welcome to the pitch there, Squee. All in. Come on, don't be a jerk. Obviously, he's going to be a jerk. He's holding things up jerk-like. Back up to 20. What do I got? I can go ahead and pull Squee back. Down to 11. Perfect. Well, this is not being very green at the moment, is it? I guess that was a good green card. A couple of them in there. One, two, three, 4. And a Ronin while we're at it. All in. That is a horde. He should have gone after the Ronin. And we got him down to 2. Boom, boom! And that's a win. Victory! Alright, playing against QQ _. Alright, that's 2 mana. Keep. We're rolling it up. All right, 2. Let's just see what we can draw here. Oh, that sucked. All right, 3. I'm going to go for the Forge. All in. This goes after Planeswalkers 2, right? Perfect. Alright, we still got a Forgeling coming on in. All attack. Yeah, I know. Kumano versus Kakkazan is awesome. It's so rarely we put it out when there's actually a Planeswalker in place. You forget that's a thing. Oh, the humanity. What are we pulling? That. I could have put it on him and then let him drive in for some stuff. We'll go ahead and weave on that one a little bit. Let's see what this guy does. All right, she got the 3/3 at least out of the deal in the turn. Nice. All right, let's go in for the attack. So you can convince them to take the bait. And we win! Suck it, suckerfish! Alright, here we are with the GRUUL. Like, a super aggressive haste GRUUL from Aether Hub. And, yeah, you know, it ended up being a lot of fun. Mostly because I love hasty aggro decks are, like, right at my forte. The other thing was nice was the fact that it wasn't just mono red. It was a lot of mono red, because when you want to do haste, that's what you're going to be sticking with. But, you know, it was good. What I really liked was I loved having Urabrask's Forge in there. I like this guy. He wasn't too bad. There's supposed to be 4 in this deck, but I only had 2. So I ended up taking that out and increasing the number of Urabrask's Forges and something else. I moved up to 3, I think. I forget. Something else in here is a little bit more than normal, right? But it was. This is essentially the same balance. Just 2 cards got shifted around somehow. I really like Nefarious Warcrafting. It only costs 3. You get to do 5 points of damage to a creature, planeswalker, or battle. You know, the most disappointing thing that's in here is Tear Asunder, because it could do anything unless you don't play with black. And you know what we're not playing with? Black. I guess Mirrex plays black. There you go. I didn't recognize that. In all the games I played, I had no idea that Mirrex could be black for 1 turn. For 1 turn. That was the one place where we could do that. Because there's so many times that there was something huge out there. I'm like, I can't kill it. I thought, I'll never be able to take it out because I don't have the ability to take things out directly. But Tear Asunder would, provided that you had Mirrex to do it. And there's only 1 in there, though. That's the problem. So if this deck is just not holding out, you need to take it out. Mirrex is your only hope. Crazy. All right, so let's see. Who was the MVP of this deck? Who's the MVP? I'm going to say... Well, the card... I mean, obviously, the card I was most looking forward to is Urabrask's Forge. I'm going to say Reinforced Ronin was always super good. Number 1, the art. This art is so top shelf right there. Seed of Hope was pretty dang good. I just thought this was dumb. But I decided to play it. For 1 mana, you get to... you know, mill 2 and pull something out of your what got milled. It's kind of like a scry draw card. It's very blue in its way, and you gain life out of the deal, so that's not bad at all. Let's see. Was this deck competitive? I ended up with a 63% win rate, which puts it into the competitive category. I'd say it's just as compatible as any Platinum Mythic list card or deck I've seen. Yeah, I think it's very competitive. I mean, I've seen better, but really, as far as competitive decks go, this one is right there. Number 2, was this deck fun? Absolutely, it was fun. For my inner goblin, this was a great deck. It was weird because it was like I was playing, you know, hasty aggro red, but there was this weird layer of green over the top that felt like soothing balm. It was just a really nice relief. You know, what was it really getting us? Tear Asunder could just control things, I guess. Audacity made things slightly better and let you draw a card. I didn't play this card as well as I should have. I normally wouldn't put this in. It just feels lame to me, but it was actually pretty decent. Seed of Hope, good for card draw. In a way that, you know, red usually does need to sacrifice a card to be able to do it. This one's like, no, we're just going to mill a little bit for it. You pick what you want. Because we're playing aggro, these Copperline Gorges were really useful. Because it's 2 or fewer, I kept begging for these guys to come out. Because that's when I really needed them, was straight up. And one game I got 3 in a row, like straight in my opening hand. It was pretty fantastic. Let's see, lastly, was this deck interesting? And the reason why I'm going to say it was interesting, this is what drew my attention to it, is because we had an Aftermath guy in there. And I thought, yeah, cool. And it had Urabrask Forge, and it had the Warcrafting. And so I thought, yeah, absolutely. And it had like Immolation, which I really hadn't seen. And there's just a lot more choices for enchantments in here. You know, I think the biggest problem with this deck is there's not a lot of synergy between the cards, but they definitely are like a team of cards where they fill in the gaps that the other people leave behind. And so there's a nice flow of cards. Everything's relatively cheap. And they all kind of get along with each other very well. So was this deck interesting? It was interesting in a different way. It was interesting in a Platinum Mythic way rather than being like super synergistic in the way I prefer normally. But still, it was a good and it was a decent deck to play with. All right, so let's rank this up. Was it competitive? I'm going to say yes. If I'm going to say it was fun, I'm going to say absolutely, double check. Was it interesting? For the most part, yes. I'm not going to give this one an A+. I'm just going to give it a straight A. I think it was a great deck. I think it was worth playing. And I think it's a ladder climber. I think you could do a lot with it. I think depending upon you could swap out 2 or 3 different cards for things that fit you better. And you're not going to hurt it in any way. So this is a very flexible deck that has a lot of options and can work for anybody who's looking for a decent deck to play with. All right, so if you decide to play with this deck, I hope that you have as much fun as I did. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the underground secret headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.